your look for class and for the court. And your look that gets a second look. This is you with Shoe Carnival. Change it up this year with the latest styles from Nike and Converse during the back-to-school sale, only at Shoe Carnival.
Truman Talks Law on Great Day Live is sponsored by the Karl Truman Law Office.
Count on the Colonel indeed. If you are a veteran with a disability, you know the waiting game. According to the VA, nearly 500,000 cases have been pending for an average of 8 months. So if your benefits have been denied or cut or underpaid, the author of Fight the VA and Win has advice. You know Attorney Karl Truman. Welcome back.
Morning.
Good to see
Morning.
you again, Lieutenant Colonel. We just heard about you. Retired Lieutenant Colonel with the U.S. Army Reserve. Tell us about your book.
Well, in addition to general personal injury claims like automobile accidents, one of the areas that I'm passionate about is helping our veterans with VA disability claims. And as a veteran myself, it's something that I'm very interested in trying to serve those who have served us and served our nation. Because as you mentioned, there is such a huge backlog of VA disability claims. One of the most frustrating things is how long it takes to get through the system. So what I wanted to do is write a book to try to give advice to veterans on what to expect in the process, on what is a VA disability claim, what are some of the criteria to be eligible for a claim, what's the appeal process, and how is the disability rated. So I've written this book to try to provide veterans just a general resource guide to try to give them some guidance about how to tackle the system.
It is a shame there's a logjam, but it's a reality. So it's something they have to be prepared to deal with, too. And you give great advice in this book, too, including reminding people about the importance of saving their documents.
Any veteran, anyone who served in the military understands documentation, because that's something that you're ingrained in, is about documentation. And so it's important, and sometimes it may have been years. We represent a lot of Vietnam-era veterans. I actually have a client who's a World War II veteran. So
wow.
Trying to go back to compile all that documentation, because just like any, being in the military, having that documentation is really crucial.
Indeed, and you're talking about here the importance of saving all these things, but another great note here too is always use certified mail with return receipt. Explain the value in that.
Well, we deal with the local VA office, what's called a regional office. Major cities have what's called a regional office where you can actually file the documentation. So we go down there almost every day and actually file stamp the documentation, so we have something that shows that it was stamped and filed. If you're not able to do that, the VA loses things. So by sending it certified mail, you have that proof that yes, it was sent in. Because when it's not in your file, you've got to be able to prove, yes, I really did send it in.
All right, let's start with the basic then. How do you know that you qualify for disability benefits from the VA? At what level do you cross that line?
And that's something that I talk about in the book. But what we have to be able to establish is that there was some sort of injury or illness that occurred while you were on active duty. And some people mistakenly think, well, I must have had to have been in a training accident or been in combat. And those are certainly important aspects, but it doesn't necessarily have to be in that. It could be you were off duty in a car accident. I've had clients like that, or sustained some other type of illness or injury. So, but we do have to establish that there was something that happened while you were on active duty, and that now it does cause a disability. And there's a lot of criteria that you have to go through to establish what is a disability and how is it rated. The VA rates it on 10% increments, and there's a whole regulation that lists each type of disability.
Very good. We appreciate everyone's service, and there's valuable and enlightening information inside this book, and you get a copy of this if they call your office.
If someone would like to call my office, 502-222-2222, be glad to send a free copy.
All right, Karl, thanks a bunch. Again, that number, 502 and then all twos, 222-2222. You can find Karl Truman online at trumanlaw.com.
Hi, I'm Jan. Welcome to Toyota's once-a-year clearance event.
Can I still get a great deal?
Yes, there's lots to choose from, but they're going fast. What is that?
Ted, he's going to pick the color.
Blue, we
Sure.
have it. We have it too.
Absolutely.
Toyota, let's go places.
I was at the end of my rope. I felt terrible all of the time.
I was tired, I was irritable.
I used to cry at a drop of a hat.
The mood swings, the tension.
I was gaining weight, I was losing my hair.
By 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I wanted to